All right, so how are you using crypto to disrupt the real estate market?
Well, if you're a homeowner, you've spent years paying down your mortgage and you build up your equity, the only way that you can release your equity right now is to go back to the banks and to borrow more money. And we think that's a very unsatisfactory way of dealing with things. So we've developed Quantum RE, and we use blockchain and cryptocurrency to help homeowners release the value of the equity that's locked up in their homes without taking on more debt. So for a homeowner, it means no interest payments, no monthly payments, and they can spend the money that we release for them on anything they like.
I love it. I love hearing from you what we could get through this. How do you actually go about it? You're actually sitting with the right anchor right now, Brad. Hosts Crypto Craze on Thursday, so we've been tracking the space a lot.
Yes.
Blockchain is a ledger.
Well, if you're a homeowner...
Great to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, so how are you using crypto to disrupt the real estate market?
Well, if you're a homeowner, you've spent years paying down your mortgage and you build up your equity, the only way that you can release your equity right now is to go back to the banks and to borrow more money. And we think that's a very unsatisfactory way of dealing with things. So we've developed Quantum RE, and we use blockchain and cryptocurrency to help homeowners release the value of the equity that's locked up in their homes without taking on more debt. So for a homeowner, it means no interest payments, no monthly payments, and they can spend the money that we release for them on anything they like.
I love it. I love hearing from you what we could get through this. How do you actually go about it? You're actually sitting with the right anchor right now, Brad. Hosts Crypto Craze on Thursday, so we've been tracking the space a lot.
Yes.
Blockchain is a ledger. So how does a ledger process help reduce that burden?
The critical thing about blockchain, you're right, it's the ledger, it's the truth that the blockchain technology provides. That allows us to track transactions and know that those transactions cannot be changed. The issue with cryptocurrencies right now is that they lack intrinsic value. Cryptocurrencies sit on top of the blockchain, and what we've decided to do is solve that problem by creating a cryptocurrency that's backed by real estate assets. The real estate assets that we use are the equity interests in people's homes. So we solve two problems. First of all, we create a cryptocurrency that is more stable because it's backed by physical assets, and at the same time we solve a problem for homeowners who want to unlock the dead money in the equity without taking on more debt.
We're 10 years after the financial crisis. Mortgage-backed securities, this is kind of what it sounds like. How is this different from what we saw 10 years ago?
Because it's not debt. And the amazing thing about this is what we're not doing is getting homeowners to increase the amount of money that they're borrowing. It's the opposite. What we're doing is we're buying some of the equity that is theirs.
From the banks?
No, from the homeowner.
But the homeowners have a mortgage out. They haven't paid off that mortgage yet, so isn't it still tied up in debt?
Some of the house, as you pay down your mortgage over time, you build up your equity.
But isn't that how it was linked in the days when they were using mortgage-backed securities?
What was happening before is that the mortgages were securitized, so people were buying elements of a whole pool of those mortgages. The mortgages are over here. What we're dealing with is the actual ownership of the property itself that's free and clear of the mortgage. So if let's say you're a homeowner, you've paid off your mortgage, how do you release the value of your home without borrowing more money again? So imagine if you've...
Well, you own it already, so you could...
You could sell it, but you have to sell it though, don't you? You have to sell the whole house.
You're only dealing with homes that are completely...
No, as you pay off your mortgage, what happens is you build up your equity, and obviously there are certain limits. There are limits to how much we will buy. But if you imagine you've paid off half of your mortgage, how do you tap into the equity that you've paid off? Normally, you have to either sell your house in its entirety, or you have to go back to the bank and borrow. So that's the piece that we're releasing for homeowners.
Look, what's the demand right now of people who want to even take advantage of cryptoizing their home, if you will?
Well, the great thing is the homeowners don't have to get involved in the cryptocurrency side of the business. So they don't have to be crypto savvy, because what we do is we pay them in dollars.
Yeah.
So it's a very traditional transaction. The cryptocurrency is the other side of the business.
Okay.
And our team has originated over $250 million worth of what we call shared equity over the last decade. And we know that there's enormous demand because homeowners are facing rising interest rates. So in that type of environment, our solution is the smarter solution, particularly for homeowners who don't qualify for debt. So imagine you're in a position where you have equity, but you can't borrow it. You're not allowed to, you don't qualify. So we solve problems for people who are in that position as well.
Is there a reason why, though, that people can't borrow? I mean, there's a reason why banks won't. So why do you want to assume on that risk?
You could be a senior, for example, who's no longer employed. You may have paid off your mortgage, sitting on an asset, but you don't have any income. So if you go to the bank and say, I'd like to borrow some money, they say, well, you're not earning anything.
So is that who you're targeting, seniors? Who else
It's really anyone that has paid off some of the mortgage, has built up equity, and want a smarter way of releasing the value of that equity, but without having to take on more debt.
How many homeowners are taking advantage of this right now?
Our team has originated over 300 transactions. So that's not with us right now. We are about to launch, but the company, the team that we brought on as shareholders and co-founders, their company historically has released over 300 clients in the last few years.
And what's the breakdown? What does it skew towards right now?
It's primarily, it's all California properties. About 50 to 60% are seniors, and the balance is a whole combination of people that have at various stages of home ownership.
How have you gotten the word out about your service?
Well, you know, it's amazing how much interest we're creating just by putting social media messages out there. We're communicating through all the usual channels, but just word of mouth through real estate agents that we're working with, people that originate mortgages for turn downs. We are a great alternative for people. So we're working with a number of channels to market as well as going to the consumer base directly.
A lot of social platforms are cracking down on advertisements for crypto-based businesses. Have you experienced that vetting process from Facebook and Google?
Not at all, because even though our business is built on blockchain technologies, we're not falling under the same criteria that Facebook was trying to prevent. What we're doing is we're helping homeowners in a very traditional sense. So our business is a combination of very much traditional established real estate business, but we have that additional blockchain cryptocurrency layer.
Well, stablecoins have come under quite controversy, especially the difficulty to convert them back into US dollars.
Yes.
Would you consider this a stablecoin because it's backed up against the value of the home?
Absolutely. That's absolutely our intention, is to create a token or a stable coin which has lower volatility than the traditional cryptocurrencies, that is backed by assets that are audited and transparent, so anyone can go and see the range of assets that their tokens are backed by.
All right, good stuff there. Matthew Sullivan, CEO at Quantum RE, here with us on Cheddar. Thanks again.
Thanks very much.